everyone, it's Renee with the DIY Day, here to share how I made this DIY basket weave journal cover. It's easy to make and will look great in any color. So let's get started. For this cover, I'm using ribbon to create a basket weave design. If you don't have ribbon, you could do the same technique using construction paper or decorative paper. Let me go over the supplies that are needed to complete this project. You'll need a composition book, hot glue, ribbon, and I'm using fray ribbon. I got this at Walmart. And it's 5/8 inch wide and 18 feet long. A white piece of paper, liquid glue, and a pair of scissors. If you're using a darker colored ribbon, you can likely skip this first step, but because my ribbon is somewhat see-through against the dark cover, I'm going to cover it first with a white sheet of paper. I'm going to take my glue and just put thin strips of glue on the cover. Then I'm going to take my white piece of paper and place it on the cover and leaving the spine exposed. Then I'm going to take my scissors and cut off the excess paper that's hanging off the journal. Now the cutting doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to be covering the cover with ribbon, so the edges might not be straight, and that's totally okay. Again, the ribbon that I'm using is by Fray. It is 5/8 inch by 18 feet, and this is enough to cover one composition book. So I cut my ribbon ahead of time, and what I did was I took the length of the journal and I added about 1/2 inch of ribbon. So from top to bottom, there's an added 1/2 inch. And I did the same thing for the width of the ribbon against the journal. So from the spine here to the edge, I added about 1/2 inch. From here, what I'm going to do is take my ribbon, place the edge of the ribbon onto the edge of the journal. Be sure to leave about 1/4 inch of ribbon on the top as well as the bottom. And if your ribbon is moving as much as mine is, I suggest getting a couple binder clips to hold the ribbon down. And then we're going to open the notebook and we're going to glue the ribbon down to the journal. And take my hot glue, place some onto the ribbon, and then fold the ribbon onto the cover. And then we're going to do the same thing to the bottom portion of the ribbon. Just take a little bit of glue. And then fold it over. And make sure that the ribbon lines up with the journal. And of course, this is not glued down. It'll be glued down later. Then we're going to do the same thing with the second ribbon. Just line it up against the first. And then go ahead and glue the edges. And if you want, you can move the binder clip just to give the ribbon some stability. And then you're going to want to continue this pattern with the rest of the vertical ribbon. Just an FYI, if you don't like the way you glued something down, what you can do, rather than rip this out because it could tear the book, rather than do that, take a heat gun. See, this one's like stuck on there. All you have to do, take your heat gun, warm up this portion of it, of the ribbon, and it'll come right off. And then it might be a little hot, but just rub the glue off the notebook and you won't tear anything. And do the same thing with the ribbon, the glue on there. It'll come right off. And then here I'm going to put down my last vertical ribbon. It's going to cover the white portion as well as some of the spine. So here's what my composition book looks like so far. And here's the inside. Now let's get started on the horizontal ribbon, or the basket weaving portion. Next, I'm going to take my horizontal ribbon and I'm going to weave it over and under each one of these vertical ribbons. And to show you, I have a contrasting color just to give you a better idea of what I plan on doing. So I'm going to go over this one and under this one, over this one, under this one, and then over and under all the way through. So it'll look like this. So I'm going to do the same thing, but with this color. And since this horizontal ribbon isn't glued yet, you can move it, and adjust it as you need. Then I'm going to take another ribbon, and instead of going over and under, I'm going to do the exact opposite and go under and over. So it'll look like this. So under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over. And then for the third ribbon, I'm going to do the same exact thing as I did for the first. So for all the odd number ribbons, you're going to do over, under. And for the even number ribbon, we'll go under, over. Now that we're finished with the overs and the unders and the unders and the overs, let's get rid of these edges. Let's work on the left-hand side first, and we're going to work on all the odd numbered horizontal ribbons. I'm going to lift this ribbon up a little bit. Add some glue right behind the ribbon. And then I'm going to tuck this horizontal ribbon right behind it. Let me show you one more time. So I'm going to move this ribbon, the horizontal ribbon. I'm going to lift the vertical one up just a little bit. I'm going to add some glue right underneath the ribbon. And then I'm going to tuck the vertical ribbon right behind it and glue it down. And I'm going to continue that same technique for all the odd numbered horizontal ribbons. Then what you're going to do for the even numbered horizontal ribbon is just pull it right underneath the vertical one so you can't even see it. And then place some glue back there so it stays still. Again, pull the ribbon so it's underneath the vertical one. Lift up the vertical ribbon. Add some glue. And then press the ribbon down so it stays in place. And then for all these edgings over here, all we're going to do is glue them straight to the back. Now that the ribbon has been glued down to the inside cover, let's work on covering the back cover up so it looks a little bit more presentable. I've selected some floral scrapbook paper that I think works really well with the cover. So rather than measuring, I'm just going to eyeball this. So I'm going to take my scrapbook paper and place it on the edge of the cover. And then right towards the inside of the spine, I'm just going to do a pencil marking right here. So I know this is where I need to cut. And then I'm going to bring this down just a bit. Line up the bottom of the scrapbook paper with the bottom of the journal. And then up here up top, I'm going to do another pencil marking. So this is my other cut line that I have to do. And with my paper trimmer, I'm going to cut at both of these markings that I did. Then I'm going to take my liquid glue and place it on the inside of the cover. And I'm also going to hot glue the scrapbook paper onto the ribbon. And that is it for my DIY basket weave journal cover. If you like what you've seen, please like and subscribe below. And for more DIY ideas, please visit my blog at thediyday.com. Thank you.